What's up? David Duford here at davidduford.com, where I help insurance agents like you guys become top producing insurance professionals. Today's video topic is final expense lead generation strategies that work right now, right here in 2020, and probably beyond 2020 in the coming year. So if you're watching this at a future date, likelihood is pretty high that these three core strategies I'm about to show you work extremely well. And I will preface this if that after watching this video, you want some recommendations for vendors, to go ahead and reach out to me at davidduford.com, and I'll be more than happy to supply with you what vendors I currently am working with, which ones have worked really well, and can put you in a position to get quality final expense leads. So what is still working? Well, guess what? The old adage in this business is still the case, and that's direct mail is king. So what has changed about direct mail, if anything? Well, I would say the biggest thing with direct mail that's changed is that direct mail is in some cases more expensive to acquire, but this has really been the case historically, at least since I've started in 2011. The price point for fixed price leads have gone up higher and higher because response rates have dropped. Why is that the case? Is there less people to sell to? No. It's just that there's more of you out there selling final expense. And we all pretty much know that direct mail is the cornerstone to an effective marketing strategy for final expense agents. So we all kind of use the same thing. So that's kind of like a big secret everybody knows. So when Mildred sees the 8th card this month in October, she ain't going to send that one in just like the other 6. You only sent the first 1 or 2 in that, she saw. So that has an impact on all of us on average. There's really 2 different types of direct mail leads you can use. I categorize them as either vanilla or specific. Now, what kind of response you get is going to vary based on which kind of lead you get. So let's talk about the vanilla one. Well, the vanilla lead is defined as a lead that does not say life insurance on it. It's simply a lead that is referencing final expense coverage, but doesn't say specifically life insurance. And as you can imagine, a lead that isn't specific gets confused response. But the upside to the lead is there's more response. The downside is that it takes a little more skill than average to deal with those people that aren't interested out the gate. There are great agents that love vanilla lead cards. I can think of several that make $200,000 plus in production a year and have consistently for years. However, there's many people who hate those cards. They feel like a bunch of people living off the dole were coming after more stuff, and it was a big waste of time and frustrating. Totally understandable. That's why I personally like, especially with new agents, starting them off with a final expense life insurance lead card. So a specific card is defined as a lead card that says life insurance. It can say it anywhere on the card, typically in the first or second paragraph. And I find that just by adding that verbiage, it improves the quality of the response rate a little bit, but it also, in return, will decrease the response as well. Why? Well, if someone sees life insurance and they're like, oh, it's life insurance, I don't need it, so they don't send it in. So that kind of makes sense. Since with the first card, it's just, what is this? Kind of curious. Let's see what happens. So with the life insurance lead, you're getting more specific response. I like those cards best to start agents off with, just a little bit of a nudge forward to help qualify the lead a little bit better. And they seem to work pretty efficiently. Last thing I'll mention is that with any of these cards, you can also add in a bribe to it. Send this card in and get a free gift card to Walmart, get a free gift card to Kroger, get a free gift card to wherever. That will also boost response for all of these cards, specific or vanilla. But you'll deal with more people who just wanted the card, and also will pretend to play prospect. They'll act like they're interested until they remind you, where's my gift card? By the way, that's the only reason you're here. So user results vary. Some people hate those leads. I personally loved them. I used a very specific card that had a bribe on it, and everybody I sat down with, not a single person was confused and thought it was Uncle Sugar giving a new burial insurance handout. They thought it was life insurance, but I had a lot of people who just wanted the card too. So it was like, exchanging one thing out for another. So again, at the end of the day, the moral of the story, all of these programs work. Pick the one that works best with you. If you want to see some updated copy as to what's working well on these direct mail pieces, you can go to davidduford.com. I'll be happy to send you some samples of what I've seen that are working pretty well. and as well as vendors that you can pick too. Number 2 is Facebook leads, and I can tell you the status of Facebook lead generation, in my opinion, has gotten a lot better as in 2019, upwards of 2020 and beyond, than I have seen in any of the prior years. I used to be the biggest critic of Facebook leads because there wasn't very many vendors, and the kind of quality that you would get back seemed like people were fill out a survey type of forms to win a free iPad, and it was a very generic, non-specific lead. And I just felt like, for the price at the time, you're looking at leads in the $20+ range that just weren't worth it. Why take a small haircut on price for, much lower quality lead? But now, as of 2019, there's many more vendors out there offering final expense Facebook leads to the market of agents out there. And I believe the quality has gone up tremendously. There's options now with Facebook leads to have them dial you automatically when they see the lead, or just schedule an appointment on your Google Calendar. It's pretty incredible. And agents who work the leads and buy enough of them seem to do pretty well. Now, what the lead says can vary wildly, just like with the direct mail cards. I've seen leads that imply it is free. I've seen leads that are very specific. Make sure you talk to your vendor and get an idea of what kind of lead copy that they use. They probably won't show you the ad copy. My finding is all Facebook marketers are very paranoid when it comes to their copy. I guess I get it. But ultimately, it will tell you kind of what the general idea is about, if it's specific or not. Again, I can give you recommendations on lead vendors. Just reach out to me at davidduford.com/contact. I'll be happy to give you up-to-date vendors. Again, that stuff changes all the time, so I don't want to leave and recommend vendors on my videos that may, go lame. So, lastly, with Facebook leads, the big difference between Facebook leads and direct mail. So why not get Facebook leads? The biggest advantages are they turn around within 2 or 3 days with most vendors. They're usually half the cost or less than what you can find with direct mail. So why isn't that my primary source of leads? Well, the first reason is that direct mail has a unique way of getting a lot more engagement out of your prospects than Facebook leads. People with direct mail head down to the mailbox, read the mail piece, read it to their spouse, take time to fill it out, walk it back to the mailbox, and then send it off. That level of engagement you'll never find with another lead piece in the final expense market. At least it's mass used in this kind of way we're talking about. Whereas Facebook leads, your clients just goofing off on Facebook, reading some group or looking at grandkids' pictures, and they see some burial insurance ad, and they say, oh, that's interesting, click submit. It's already pre-filled out. There's not a lot of engagement involved. And they click submit, and then they go back to what they were doing. They kind of forget about it. This is much like a telemarketing lead. You catch people off guard when you telemarket on the spot to give you a decision if they're interested to hear about life insurance. That's kind of how Facebook leads are. Not to that much of an extent, but in a similar extent. And so with Facebook leads, what you have more often are people with less recall. You have a lot less people picking the phone up. And sometimes when you work them, they're either going to be very hot, very interested, or ice cold. A lot of agents have told me there's this polarity effect between the leads. I like Facebook leads, especially if you're low on cash. If you can't afford direct mail, Facebook leads are a good way to get started. Just make sure you buy a little bit more than what you would for direct mail. I would recommend 30 Facebook leads if your goal was 20 to start with. So about 150% more, 50% more, I guess is a better way to describe it. And be ready to door knock these leads just as much as you call. A lot of these people will not pick the phone up. That's kind of the similarity between all Facebook leads, is they're a little bit more sophisticated and screen your calls a little bit better. Last but not least is a program that I learned a couple years ago, turned into a program that I recruit agents to and also sell as a marketing system. It's the seminar marketing strategy. And essentially what you do is you go into places with seniors, do a quick educational seminar on final expense, and then harvest your own leads right then and there. The advantage of seminars is that they're cheap. They're very, $20-30 a seminar average cost, and all it takes is one sale to profit. Most agents will sell 1 to 2 policies. It's fun if you like speaking in front of people, and it's just a nice way to get leads at virtually no cost. So this is great for agents that don't want to buy leads or can't buy leads. There's not a lot of people doing this. It's a great strategy, really, as a bridge to get to a fixed price lead program, whether it's Facebook or direct mail. Very few agents turn the seminar marketing strategy into a full-time, long-term strategy. Some have. I have a few that have, but the vast majority, it's a bridge to another point. So that is your overview of what works in the final expense lead generation in 2020 and beyond. Bottom line, direct mail is king. Facebook is a great secondary alternative if money's tight. And seminar marketing is great if you're broke and you need a way to start working to bridge the gap to get to Facebook or direct mail. And at the end of the day, please, if you can, financially, invest in yourself the best way by investing in direct mail. That's my recommendation to all my leads or all my agents. And the ones that do the best job are usually the ones who are following that advice. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Subscribe if you haven't. And check out my website if you're interested in selling with me and my agency. I recruit agents nationally in all sorts of programs for final expense and other products. DavidDuford.com. Click Join Dave's Agency for more information. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. See you.